Alright, so let's think of adding a dash as how a programmer thinks of it. Now, dashing is basically the same as moving left or right. Instead of holding down a button and then going in that direction, we just want to press a button that'll move us a couple of forces. In what direction? In the direction we are facing, or so in the direction of the left key or the right key. But we don't want to keep on dashing, just like how we move. We want to just dash an amount and then stop. And then we can dash after that again. So let's implement this. So let's just go to the player controller script, and right here we want to add another region which is called dash. So region dash, and then we want to close this region, so end region. Let's add two bool variables. Let's add a bool can dash and another bool called is dashing. Awesome. So if input dot get key code dot q. So basically this is the button that you'll press to dash. And at can dash, and then we want to dash, so dash. So is dashing equals true. Awesome. Now let's set can dash. So in the start function, let's set can dash to equal true. So we can actually dash when we start. Now while we're dashing, so if is dashing, what we want to do is we want to add rb.velocity equals new vector2 in what direction. So we haven't actually specified that. So if we can dash, let's add another if statement, or not an if statement. Let's just add a float right here, which is called dash direction. Dash direction. So this is the dash direction. But right here, dash direction equals input dot get axis raw, and we want to get the horizontal axis, so horizontal axis. So while is dashing, we want to add dash direction on the x-axis, that is. We don't want to dash on the y-axis. Times what we're also going to do is we're going to add a public float dash force, dash direction times dash force, and on the y-axis rb.velocity.y, and then multiply that over time dot delta time, so all users have the same experience. Now this is actually if the player is pressing a horizontal key, one of the horizontal keys. But what if he's not pressing any keys? So if dash direction equals 0, then what we want to do is we want to just check dash direction to equal, so we can set dash direction to equal transform dot local scale dot x. So it's basically the x-axis scale. So when we're facing the right direction, it's going to be in the positive, so it'll move us in the right direction. And when we're facing the left direction, this axis scale will be in the negatives, so we'll go in the left direction when we dash. And now after doing that, what we want to do, we want to make a IE numerator, and we want to set it to stop dashing. So you can think about an IE numerator in this way. It's basically a function that waits a specific amount of time before executing what's inside of it. So the context for waiting a couple of seconds is actually yield return new wait for seconds, and you want to implement how much you want to wait. So right now we're just going to input public float wait time dash. We want to input in wait time dash, and then we want to set is dashing to equal false. I'm going to set dash force to something like 6 or 500, and I'm going to set wait time dash to something like 0.2 maybe. So after that, we just want to call in the stop dash function. So to call in an IE numerator, you should actually type start coroutine and then type in stop dash. And now it'll call it in, it'll first be is dashing, and then it'll call it. Can dash equals false. I actually forgot to implement it. So when you press on Q, you can't dash again unless you stop dashing. So when you stop dashing, can dash equals true again. So you can dash after you stop dashing. But that basically means. So now if we play, now if I go left, if I dash, E dashes a bit, but it's not that much. So if I set it as 1500, if I try dashing, we can dash successfully. Maybe you want to make it a bit more snappy, so let's just say dash force is 2000, and the wait time dash is actually 1.2. Now if we play, or let's just say you want to make it less snappier, so something like this, and you can actually edit it. Now let's just not forget to re-edit the settings here.